Lamb is directed by Valdimar Jóhannsson, who also co-wrote the film with Sjón. It's about a couple living in Iceland raising a baby that's born on their farm that is half human and half sheep. If you're tired of sequels and reboots and big summer blockbusters, A24 is a studio you need to be keeping up with. They have been putting out a steady output of some of the most compelling original movies that have been in theaters over the last few years. I was a big fan of Hereditary, The Witch, Midsummer, and The Green Knight, and Lamb is another great movie from them. Right off the bat, this movie is gorgeously filmed. It was shot in Iceland, and it has some gorgeous mountain scenery. Its use of fog, as well as the isolation of the farm being miles away from civilization, is particularly impressive and adds to a feeling of dread in some of the movie's more tense scenes. But this is less of a horror movie than the marketing might lead you to believe. The trailers with some family drama and some comedy going on are actually pretty accurate. Most of this plays out as a drama, with the husband and wife having to adjust to this new situation they're in after adopting this kid. The husband's brother shows up and complicates things, and they all have to learn to appreciate their differences and care for each other. You're really rooting for them to make things work. This family drama and the conflict that goes on with it is compelling on its own thanks to some great performances from everyone involved. It's really sparse on dialogue and relies on the characters' actions to tell its story most of the time. The effects are also really convincing. Ada, the child, was created through a combination of child actors, digital effects, and puppetry. It's really convincing. The movie wouldn't have worked if you hadn't believed that this kid was real, and you absolutely do. It's some terrific effects work that really helps to sell everything that's happening. But the movie is still every bit as effective when it comes to the horror elements. It circles back around from time to time to creeping you out in some really effective moments. Early on in the film, you spend so much time with the family doing everyday, mundane things and living a happy life together, that around the end of the second act, you start to think that things might be building to a more predictable ending. But you never forget at any point how unusual all this is. There's some crazy stuff going on in the background, and you always feel a sense of tension that the movie is headed down a dark path. I won't give you any hint of what's happening here, but despite some horror movie cliches that I'm not a fan of, it builds to a really great final scene that capitalizes on all the weirdness going on just perfectly. This is a really well-directed, cleverly written movie that knows how to balance its tone very well and how to take its story in directions you aren't always expecting. Thank you all for watching.